Community Station. I am Abdullah Shajia with the news. First, we'll begin from the presidency, where President Bola Tinubu has approved the nomination of Dr. Jamila Bayo Ibrahim to serve as the Minister of Youth, pending her confirmation by the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It has further approved the nomination of Mr. Ayodele Olawande to serve as the Minister of State for Youth, pending his confirmation by the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. President Tinubu charges the above-mentioned nominees to ensure that they consistently reflect the dynamism, innovative zeal, and unyielding productivity that are synonymous with the young people of Nigeria as they discharge their duties. This year, global attention is on the numerous threats to democracy occasioned by the coup d'etat in some African countries. As the world observes another International Day of Democracy, stakeholders highlight the vital role of children and young people in safeguarding democracy today and in the future. Ifeoma Rojinta tells us more.
Democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights are the bedrock of a resilient, inclusive, and peaceful society, which many say are non-negotiable.
This is the best government. It's the best government that we can ever think of. And therefore, we just continue to ensure that we advocate that whoever has an opportunity to pilot affairs, he should, do very well so that democracy can be further enriched and enshrined.
Democracy means freedom. Democracy means rule of law. Democracy means development.
Despite all these, democracy seems to be threatened, particularly in Africa, given the recent coup in Niger and Gabon.
That number one, good governance is their number one priority. If you govern well, I can assure you, the soldiers will not leave the barracks.
All that is, bringing about the coups, adventure into our system is because the leaders who have the opportunity, they will forget the electorate, or the citizens, and then you see them living lavishly.
On the occasion of the 2023 International Day of Democracy, with the theme Empowering the Next Generation, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says, and I quote, "The walls are closing in on civic spaces. Misinformation and disinformation are poisoning public discourse, polarizing communities, and eroding trust in institutions." He further calls for the need to support the younger generation with massive investments in education, skills building, and lifelong learning.
While empowering the youth and values of democracy, this will really bless the international system by having empowered and skilled young population that will contribute to the growth and development of the international economic system.
The International Day of Democracy is observed on the 15th of September annually. Ifeoma Rojinta, NTA News.
Talking a bit on health, marked and celebrated every 17th September, the World Patient Safety Day calls for global solidarity and concerted action by all countries and international partners to improve patient safety. Cecilia Julius reports on health experts' view on the essence of the day.
World Patient Safety Day 2023, observed 17th September under the theme Engaging Patients for Patient Safety, is in recognition of the crucial role patients, families, and caregivers play in the safety of healthcare. Through the slogan, Elevate the Voice of Patients, the World Health Organization calls on all stakeholders to take necessary action to ensure that patients are involved in policy formulation and are active partners in their own care.
The major backbone of medical ethics, apart from the autonomy, is beneficence. Healthcare practitioners have to prescribe drugs that are beneficent to the patient. And we also talk of null maleficence, which is doing no harm in whatever means to the patient. And then, of course, we need to also emphasize the other parts, which is include justice. If any patient is subjected into any undue harm, such a patient has a right to seek redress through the proper channel. And it's also important for healthcare givers all across the world to know that treatment and healthcare is patient-centered. Patients has to be aware. They have to be able to make an informed decision about the treatment they want and the treatment they do not want.
Experts maintain that patient safety can be achieved by providing platforms and opportunities for diverse patients, families, and communities to raise their voice, concerns, expectations, and preferences to advance safety, patient-centeredness, trustworthiness, and equity. Cecilia Julius, NTA News.
Now, report just reaching us says President Bola Tinubu is in the United States of America for his first participation in the United Nations General Assembly UNGA 2023. The president, who arrived in New York Sunday evening, will join other world leaders at the global event. The Nigerian leader is expected to address the assembly on Tuesday. Apart from the General Assembly, the president is also scheduled to have bilateral and multilateral meetings with some leaders, including the US President Joe Biden. This is in addition to meeting with heads of international companies and businesses. Now, away from that, there is the perception by outsiders that some residents of the Federal Capital Territory portray a fake lifestyle and, in most cases, live above their means. Do you share the same perception? Well, curious about this, Mariam George Jitubo sought opinions.
Are you being true to yourself and the values you hold most dear? Or are you spending your precious time trying to be who others say you need to be, do what others say you need to do by pretending to be who you are not? These are traits outsiders claim many residents of the FCT portray. Abuja, the nation's capital, is viewed as an expensive city with high cost of rent and transportation, which many average Nigerians cannot afford. Many claim that, despite the high cost of living, some residents of the FCT are not being true to themselves as they struggle to pay rent, put their children in expensive schools, drive flashy cars, all in a bid to belong, while debts keep accruing. But how true is this?
The young generation are also running away from the reality of life. They don't have patience to wait for their time. That subjects a lot of Nigerian youth into unnecessary lifestyle that are not supposed to be ordinarily. Some youths delve into criminality, some into prostitution because they are living larger or they want to live like somebody who started 30, 40 years ago.
Of course, there are people living fake lives. That one is certain. You could see that there are some people, they can't afford a particular accommodation. They just want to be among the big shots. So, and then some people believe that you have to live in the city, in the heart of the city. Even though they can't afford it, they'll go to any extent to make sure that they get that money. Some people, you see them wear things, they just want to belong to the group. They borrow, they do all sorts of things to just make sure they get used to that lifestyle.
Many people are there. In fact, I've encountered a lot of them. When you approach it like this, you think, no, they have. By the time you get closer to them, you know that, no, they are not actually exactly what they are.
There are people that is their way. They have chosen, no matter how you advise them, they have chosen to live that way. And the only things that can help, everybody should have the fear of God.
However, it seems to be the case of different strokes for different folks.
So is there any fake human being? That's the question I will ask you. If there is fake human being, how do they look like? So my perception that there is fake people in Abuja, I disagree.
Although most times people want to craft a unique or cool image about themselves, but many pointed out that living a fake life is like borrowing from one's account or eating junks where you cannot get enough. As no matter how much you eat of junk food, it is not satisfying.
Akwa resettlement area of the Federal Capital Territory has in recent time experienced an influx of people, new buildings and a lot more into its environs. What could be the reason for this development? Well, Gideon Yohana visited the environment and brought back this report.
Apo resettlement is a diverse mix of ethnicity, traditions, and lifestyles that Federal Capital Territory is known for and can be found in Apo Legislative Zone E of Apo resettlement. Residents have, however, shared why the sudden movement into the environment in recent times, despite the present realities.
You have been hearing the name Apo, Apo, Apo. You'll be wondering, what's the community? But this is exactly the community. We have Garki Bagi, Garki Hausa, and Akmagia, and Apo. The only thing I can say, we need additional. We need at least a general hospital, if it will be possible. As the resettlement at large, we don't have something like this. We only have primary health care, which is at Zombie.
The place is specially built for the indigenes of this town. It's a resettlement. Over time, we've been given the privilege to live around them, either by rent or buying of the houses. The expansion here, why people move here, is one, because of the accessibility to town. Secondly, talking about the area of power, light, it has been very good here, and as well as security.
Known for its harmonic fusion of residential and commercial spaces, producing a vibrant environment that caters for the requirements of its residents, a reason this sudden erection of building and movement to its environs.
I think I would say that we are enjoying some level of stable light here because, there is light here. Very nice area, and it's very, very safe. Like someone can easily be heading home around 10, 11, answering call, and he or she won't be afraid of someone will come out and rob you. So Apo is quite safe and everything.
The people who are living here, they are our people. Despite I'm from Nasarawa State, but has been here for long and be like they are brothers. Apo resettlement is very simplest place, and the resettlement is a place that if you are coming, you live comfortable. And everybody who is living in this nation is known that the Baji people, they are not troublemakers. Baji people are peacemakers. And if you are living with the Baji people, you'll be like you are living with your family.
Apo Zone E residents have continued to enjoy a sense of community while still being well connected to its city's amenities. The residential neighborhoods of Apo Legislative Zone E offer a range of housing options, from cozy apartments to spacious homes. The layout is meticulously planned, ensuring a balance between green spaces and built-up areas. In Abuja, Gideon Yohana, NTA News.
You're watching the 1 p.m. news on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Still to come on the news. Correspondent takes a look at the importance of breakfast to health. This and more in just a moment.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news,
on the news at 7.
Jama'a barkanmu da wannan
The station NTA Channel 5, Abuja,
would say have a lovely day.